It's good morning, Dwayne Russell. Welcome to Yellow Shelf.
Joe, it's a pleasure to be on. Thanks for inviting me.
Dwayne, it is your first time because this is your first novel.
It is,
Oh,
yes. I'm looking forward to.
congratulations.
Thank
Yes,
you. I'm looking forward to finding out whether people like it. So it's now in bookshops and now available for people to read, and I'm now about to find out whether I'm any good or not. So, yes, I can't wait to see
yay.
whether people like it.
Well, I'm wanting the Yellow Shelf audience to get into this. Dwayne, tell us all about your new book.
Okay, well, it starts with Sarah and Jackson, two childhood sweethearts. It starts with them their wedding day. Jackson doesn't turn up for the wedding, and we go back and forward in time to find out why he's a no-show. Sarah and Jackson's relationship, how it developed, and why he didn't turn up, and then what happens in the future down the track as to the two, and whether they will end up getting back together. It's interesting when people read it to find out from them whether they're sort of barracking for Jackson or barracking for Sarah or barracking for both. Jackson, it's an international book, so it's not
Yep.
set in Australia. It's set mainly in London, Paris, the French Riviera, Cannes, Nice. So it's set in those areas. So it's a bit of an adventure as
Yeah.
well. I wanted to take myself on an
Yeah.
adventure when I was writing it to places that I'd been that had a real exciting vibe.
Yeah.
So it takes us to Jackson's world, which is he's in the art world and he gets to meet someone in Paris who entices him with an idea, artistic idea. He's a painter and he likes the thought of it. And Sarah, who's a skater, an Olympic skater as well. So it takes us into her skating world. So, yes, it's an adventure that's set on an international stage and hopefully will take people on a bit of a ride outside of their own lives because that's what it's done with me. It's taken me for a ride outside of my own life.
Yeah, and look, that's the sense I got with the read. I felt like I was traveling with the characters. So, feedback from me, I was on your journey. I was on the journey with the characters. We also have a little bit of a thriller crime mystery spin on this.
Yeah, so Sarah is part of a crime family in Australia, so that's her background.
Yeah,
And Jackson is also one of those, he hasn't really tested himself in life. So
yeah,
he wants to test himself with a couple of projects. He's trying to live up to his father's expectations, etc. So he gets sort of enticed into this art world, which is his sweet spot. I mean, he's a great artist. So he gets enticed into this world. And yeah, it's about art forgery as well. There's a lot of Picasso. There's a lot of,
yes,
for those that are into the art world, there's a lot of diving into that world as well. So yeah, it is crime
yes.
and it is thriller, and I don't want to give too much away,
No.
obviously. But it's interesting to know from you who were you barracking for late in this novel because I even when I
Ooh,
was writing it, I got to
yeah.
the late chapters and I still didn't know how I wanted to end it, to be honest.
Oh, that's interesting. I guess I was kind of invested in Jackson.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was my take. So I want others to kind of read it and give you some feedback because I think I was kind of Team Jackson for a while.
I found that from a lot of female readers as well that they were Team Jackson, whereas I
Oh,
thought they'd be more Team Sarah, which is interesting to
yeah,
me because whilst I was writing it for the majority of writing it as well, I was kind of Team Sarah,
yeah,
but I'd write a chapter and then I'd be jumping back to Jackson, and then the whole part of it
yeah,
in my mind was whether they were perfect for each other or whether they're not perfect for each other. They are childhood sweethearts, so they went to school together.
yeah,
They've grown up together. So yeah, when it gets to late in this novel, hopefully it takes people deep into
yeah.
an adventure and it gets them involved in those two characters deeply to the fact that they care.
Yeah. And what your book does really well is it kind of mixes a lot of genres and I love that. I the audience here know that I like, you don't have to box your book into one specific genre. There's all subgenres. So well done on that.
Thank you.
Dwayne, I have to touch on the fact that for anyone watching who doesn't know Dwayne Russell, you were, I guess, a sporting legend in Australia. You've
We're
had a
going too
career.
far with the legend bit, but anyway, yeah. I
Well,
did play professional sport.
people can do some research and work that out. But you had a distinguished sporting career, sporting commentator. So you're from the world of sport, and now you're an author. That is fabulous.
But through year 12, year 11, 12, I knew that English was going to get me through. So I was good
Yeah.
at sport in school, but I also knew I was good at English. I had encouragement from English teachers with my writing as well. So I was encouraged in that area. And then when I finished year 12, I applied to be a journalist at the Adelaide Advertiser and got knocked back.
Yeah.
So I've always been of the belief that I could write. I ended
Yeah.
up writing for the Sunday Age and
Yeah.
various other newspapers, but I always believed that I could write. So I've been wanting to do this for a couple of decades. It's been an idea bubbling in
Yeah.
my own head. And yeah, I'm a sport broadcaster now doing sport broadcasting on TV and radio. And
Yeah.
it's pretty much the same in that
Yeah.
you're looking at something and you're putting it into words. And
Yes.
that's exactly what I've done with this. I've had this idea, this story in my head, and so I've put it into words. I had to find a style, which
Yeah.
has been the thing about a firm, and Kate Blake helped me find a style of voice as a writer. And once I kind of got to understand my style of writing, make it punchy, make it an easy read, but also make it a quick and vibrant kind of storytelling, which is a bit like commentary as well. You've got to be engaging, but you have to have speeds as a commentator. You can't be all fast and furious. You have to be like a car in traffic. Sometimes you've got
Yeah.
to go slow and pull back. You've got to
Yeah.
have light and shade, but sometimes you've got to go for it. And, like sports, sometimes with commentary, you've got to hit people between the eyes. So hopefully
Yeah.
there's, with this reading of this novel, there's a few hits between the eyes as well.
Yeah, well done. And look, people need to read this and then give you some feedback because I know that's what you want. And
Yeah.
any first-time author really wants to hear from the audience. Uh, Dwayne, tell us if we're curious, if we're curious about you. Gosh, we can just Google your name. But I'll put some links in the show notes here on
Thank
how
you.
to connect with you. I'm connected on Instagram. I can see what you're doing in your world. I can put a link into the publisher. But yeah, what if people are curious? How do we get the book?
Well, you go to a bookshop and ask for Killing for Sport, or you can get it online, obviously.
Yeah.
But I am keen to find out what people think. So, yes, I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter, but I'm not regular on Twitter. I'm
Yeah.
a bit, I read what people say, but I don't tend to put things on
Yeah.
Twitter. I'm more of
Yeah.
an Instagram user.
Sure.
So, yeah, if you want to find me on Instagram, tell me what you think, have a read,
Yeah.
and I'll listen to feedback. The interesting part, I suppose, for me is having been a sports person, you listen to coaches, you get an understanding as to where you can improve.
Yeah.
And years ago, I put this in front of publishers and got the knockbacks that everybody does get when they write a novel. But I listened to the feedback that I had at the time, and that enabled me to rewrite it in a more easily digestible style.
Yeah.
So I listened to the feedback with that one, and luckily, a firm, having given me a bit of feedback initially, did decide to go with me. And yeah, I'll be welcoming the feedback again on Instagram. If you read it, if you buy it,
Yeah.
if you get someone lending it to you, I would suggest you try and go out there and get it. Don't wait for the movie.
No.
Out there and buy the book if you can.
Oh, look, Dwayne, I'm sure people will dive into this one. Congratulations. Would you write again? Is it still that burning desire? Would you, if the feedback sends you in the direction of writing more, would you do that?
Well, if people buy it and it sells, the people that buy it will create a monster because I do want to keep writing.
Yeah.
I wanted to do this for decades. Finally, I've had a fiction novel published, and yes, hopefully this is just the start of things to
Yeah.
come. I've hopefully got
Oh,
two, three, four.
awesome. Well, I'll have you back whenever future book comes out. Dwayne, I just wanted to say, I think, the message in this is you mentioned, you didn't cut the mustard in the early days as a cadet journalist. You persisted,
Yeah.
you've just kept going and you've taken on feedback. Well done. Look where you are now. People get this book, read it, give Dwayne some feedback because we want more of these novels our way. Congratulations. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me on, Joe. It's been a delight for me to meet you and come
Yeah.
on. So yeah, I can't wait to. Well, jump on Instagram. Tell me what you actually
Yeah,
deeply thought.
okay, I will. I'll share. So thank you. All the best.
Thank you.